Hey guys, Ashley here with another reading video, and guess what? Chapter 2 of Night's Dreams Are Reality is out. Now, I've already seen, I looked through a bit, and let's just say it's going to be a point of view sort of story. Like, one moment it's going to go to the protagonist, second it'll go straight to being a third person perspective, and well, let's just say I'll just pretty much kind of point out of which is which. Anyways, we're going to start with a first-person perspective. Also, I will put a link in the description so you guys can check it out for yourselves. And give the love for Danny, because she had worked hard on this. Even though this is just an exam type of story, it still pretty much counts as you really got to give this stuff a read. Anyway, let us read. Today was the day all of us waited for, trained for. This day will prove where we stand, the day of trial. Even though it was known as the day, it's a 3-day-long test of courage, ability, strength, and intelligence. What, no hope? I kid. Also, this seems like the alchemy exam. This is sounding a lot like the alchemy exam. I mean, first they actually do the writing, and then they test on their abilities. And then the last is just getting judged. Don't believe me? I'll pretty much continue on with the story so you guys can get the feel of what I'm trying to say. Today is a writing exam to show your, what do you visitors call it? IQ? Yeah, that. My master, or teacher, on the other hand, had been busy helping the other Nightmarens with preparation for the physical. I don't know when he came back. I just knew it was late, so I wasn't helping anything. Within Riel's chambers, Riel was lying upon his bed, resting after a long night of work. He was very low on energy since he was being called left and right. It was peaceful for a while until, Lord Riel, wake up! A young Nightmaren girl called out, shaking his arm. Come on, we need to go. I refuse to be late because you want to sleep in. Oddly enough, that sounds similar to how, sort of with Alphonse trying to get Ed to wake up because they're kind of going to be late. I don't know why, but it feels like that. The girl with the midnight hair and golden streaks continued to bark as Riel woke up. What time is it? He said as he turned to his apprentice. It's 5 in the morning. I need to be there early. I don't want to face the other Nightmaren girls since I haven't met them before. I want to get this done early, like you said. Riel rose from his bed and stood above the child. Did you look over your studies and warm up? The girl nodded. Yes. Nothing unchecked, and all my warm-ups have been complete. Can we please go now? Riel rubbed his eye and walked out of his room. Come along then, child. Being only 15 at the time, I was still naive. He gave me the typical lecture about being the strongest and the best for all of Nightmare. He took me down to the lower levels of the castle for the first time since it was only early. We didn't run into anyone. The other Nightmares were either working in Nightopia or asleep. Luckily, the teacher for the exam was there. I was nervous since I never met any other Nightmaren besides Riella. When we arrived, I let myself in and saw my exam teacher, Camelon. Oh, wow. Well, at least it's not Bamamba. That'd be kind of creepy. Honestly, I do like Camelon. I do like the design and all, and the backgrounds of his domain is actually pretty cool. Although it's kind of trippy. I don't know why, but it just seems trippy. He was shocked to see me. I've never been in his class. I simply told him I wanted to take the test, and he agreed to give it to me after a brief chat. I stayed silent for most of it. The test is very long and can last for 4 to 5 hours, from the basics to things you might not have heard of. You can come between a certain time frame before you can't take it at all. I finished in 2.5 hours. It was a bore, if you ask me. Honestly, I am like that. I mean, my usual motto is get it done and over with, because I just wanted to get it done, get my work done quickly as charmed, so I can at least enjoy what I basically want to do. Now, that's only for school, just so I let you know. I turned it in and left the room only to run into someone. Sorry, got something in my throat, but I'll be fine. Okay, does it come on talking? I'll grade your test and post it by the end of the day. The girl nodded in respect and left. As she opened the door and went, she bumped into someone. Oof, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. This was Spada the Mantle, daughter of Puffy the Bunny and Jackal the Mantle. Okay, I didn't think Jackal would actually find a way to get lucky. Hey, Riella, I just hooked up with someone. And Riella is just literally, just sort of sitting around, just drinking a cup of coffee or something. He's like, whatever, Jackal, whatever. Takes a sip, and Jackal's like, oh boy, Puppy definitely enjoys greatly. And Riella's like, what? I don't know why, but that would actually be something I would see him do. Anyways, a beautiful Saint Nightmaren who is quite perky, always looking out for her friends and family, the life of the party as they call her. I honestly didn't know how to respond. I climbed up, ducked my head, and ran. I haven't talked to anyone before, so can't blame me too much. Yeah, I'm kind of like that too, only I don't really run, I just walk away. Hey, I haven't seen you around here before. Are you new? The Marin asked. The girl in front of her grew nervous and silent as she grabbed her small bag and ran off. That's weird. Who was she, Mr. Camelon? Beta asked. She only was given a shrug. It didn't matter to her at the moment. She needed to get her test done. Okay. I returned to my master to tell him the news. He only nodded at me since I didn't know the results of the test. I rested in my room for a while because I couldn't sleep last night, and then went to train for the rest of the day. Since I couldn't fly, I needed to make sure my abilities were on point in case of emergencies. Riella kept an eye on me for reasons I never knew about. I thought he was there to judge me again, but surprisingly was silent. But he was surprisingly silent. My bad. I didn't know what to think. It was probably around 9 p.m. Well, Nightmares are a bit more active around nighttime. I don't know why, but I just have that feeling. When the news came out, the test results had been posted. had been posted. Riel trusted me to go on my own this time. I guess I was growing up in his opinion. I headed down to the testing room again to see what came of it. But I didn't expect such a crowd to be there. Oh, I know that feeling. Yeah, I can pretty much relate to having it being awkward right there. I can't believe it! Who got this high of a score? It's impossible! We've got competition for sure. Yeah, it's not really shown who's actually talking in this. So I just have to guess who's talking. Hang on a sec. Okay, we're back. It could be just a mistake. Maybe it's one of us. The new generation of Nightmarens were there, looking upon their scores. Most of them were quite content with their scores. Nothing lower than an 84%. Sorry I'm late. Did I miss something? What did I miss? Spader ran in wondering what was going on. Someone got a 100%. Danny, you got some spelling errors. I think you should look over these on the test. And there's no name to show who did it. Yeah, Starlight never really got her name, honestly. For some reason, she was named Starlight. Not Starlight Glimmer. Definitely not. Let's go down the list again. From left to right, because you are probably confused if you just dropped in. Far left with the tentacles in Seaside, the Hound is Hera. You know, Danny, if you're going to introduce these characters, you should at least make a character sheet of these guys, along with what they look like. It would actually be a little more easier to tell what they look like. You met Spada. The clown girl is Dawn. It's actually kind of funny because, well, honestly, there are some clowns in Jester Nightmarens. Probably the only clown example is Dombalon. The spider is BB. Green and Scaly is Gilda. Make your MLP jokes here. And the cat in stripes is Katniss. You know now. I'm not sure if this is Danny talking or telling us about this, but hey, I'll go with it. You got the second best score, though. You got the second best score, though. I'm not sure how these characters are gonna act, honestly, so I'm just gonna make up voices as I go. Dawn mentioned as she pointed to the board. Haha! Silver will have to do. Silver had to do, but who's the plank? Spada wondered as she turned around to find that mysterious Marin again. Oh, it's you again. Everyone turned to the red jester, who was hiding in the back. Who's she? Phoebe asked. That's the girl I've been telling you about. Is this your score then? Spada asked as the girl walked up to retrieve her paper. It was definitely hers. She nodded silently and walked away from the crowd. She could hear them whispering about her as she left. Spada stared at the girl as she walked away to who knows where. I didn't expect to be such a large attraction. I didn't know what to think of them. I was too scared to talk, so I left to my room. Riella did ask to see my paper, and for once, he actually smiled at me. Guess it shows that he's proud. See, I figured as though that Riella isn't technically cruel. I mean, if he's going to approve of this, then I guess it is kind of something. And I don't think he's gonna be like Dante. Definitely not. Dante's a lot more crueler than Riella. You know, with the manipulation like that. Riella, on the other hand, has actually shown to be much better. Because, come on, the guy has pretty much proven that he's a lot more than he looks. He told me good job and to go to bed early to get my rest for tomorrow's physical, and felt different at night. For the first time, he showed me affection like that before. I appreciate it and went to bed. When the morning came, Riella woke me up with breakfast and training in the morning as a warm-up. That is actually something he do. Nothing out of the ordinary. Once the clock struck 10, it needed I needed to head to my position in the courtyard of the castle with a special flag with my own marking on it. Insert MLP/Fullmetal Alchemist joke here. It looked similar to Riella's one, but it had vines and roses wrapped around it. Ouch! Oh wait, that's just a mark. Never mind. A sign of beauty and mourning. You know what they say, every rose has its thorns. I guess. I took my place on the platform and awed at the course I had to perform on. It was grand and most definitely difficult for the average Marin. All I feared was the flying potion because, again, I can't fly! No, seriously, it's all caps right there with the I can't fly line. I saw each of the other Nightmarens take their positions as the announcer went off. I wasn't that nervous, to be honest. The others were, though. This looked like the hardest course they had ever seen. I felt the admiration within me pumping and my heart pounding fast as we all placed ourselves. Seriously, you don't really have to put our twice in this, Danny. At the starting line, we needed to go through the course without losing our flags. So it's basically kind of like capture the flag of sort? No, wait. More like placing the flag. I don't know what this obstacle course is all about. And place them at the finish line. Nothing hard. We were just waiting for the sign to go as we prepared ourselves for the battle of our lives. The moment that shot went off, I felt this instant take over. My only mentality was to win. I jetted out with that flag in hand and into the course, with the other man following right behind me. It had mud pits, I'm not sure how to spell that, or tracks, and a whole lot of climbing and running. It was an average day for me, but the one who seemed to be right on my heels was Spada. Well, due to the fact that she's able to fly, it would make sense. The girl ran as fast as she could to keep the lead. Her flag was a bit muddy, but untorn. As she approached the flight portion, she stopped in her tracks on the edge of the cliff. She saw the course marks in the darkened sky. A few Marins passed by her, leaving the crowd shocked. She was doing so well and she just gave up the lead. But she had a plan. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to the part. She saw a path along the ridge of the cliff. She smiled as she started to climb the side of the cliff and out of the ground and onto the ground and quickly caught up with the others. The moment she jumped off the ledge and back into the main course was when she had regained her place on the leaderboard, leaving many baffled at her skills and smarts. The Marin quickly made it through the final obstacle course and into the final stretch. She felt a smile come across her face as she went full speed. Hey Sonic, you got competition right there. Ahead to her flag post. She skidded across the dirt and to stop herself and place the flag upon its post, turning off her timer. The crowd roared as they saw the record-breaking time of 10 minutes and 31 seconds. Dang. She raised her fist in the air in victory. Riella watched with a prideful smile upon his face as she crossed the finish line. That feeling of hearing everyone cheering for me and liking my performance was the most amazing feeling I ever had. First place within this new generation, I had made my mark as the one to fear. The moment never lasted, though. The moment I had another timer go off, seconds after my own, it was Spada. She kept up with me that closely with a time of 10 minutes and 59 seconds. I was shocked to see that. Second of the exam and the second of physical, I admit, she was a formidable foe, one I grew to like. I sense a friendship starting to sprout. Seriously, I can tell. I was able to take my place on the platform with her waiting for the rest to come. You were good out there, girl, Spada told the silent Marin in glee. I mean, you have it. You make me jealous. But why couldn't you fly? Ooh, awkward. That's awkward. She asked as the two of them got the mud off of them. She received no answer again. Shy, huh? Sorry, maybe I need to introduce myself. I'm Spada. What's your name? The Marin looked at her and went back to washing herself and off and left. Spada felt a little down at that. She wasn't sure what was wrong with her, but she shrugged it off as the other Marins arrived. I have a feeling we're getting closer to the end, guys. When I was able to return to Riella, I could see he was shocked to see Spada cross the finish line a few seconds after me, but something was still different with him. He would scold me for that, but this time all he did was nod at me and congratulated me for a job well done. We left to his room where we live and told me once again to rest up for the final day. Tomorrow we will be brought up to Wiseman himself for the final verdict. Oh! Oh boy! He will tell us what we will become in this army, this kingdom, the whole land. I was nervous to face my master back then. I just feared him for such an odd reason. Riella never really told me about him, and I'm sorry if I'm stuttering. It's just that I'm having a little bit of some hard time reading some of these, and I've never met him before, as far as back as I can remember. I don't know why, but who wouldn't fear him? So I thought it was normal. When the day came, I waited for my judgment. All the Nightmarens and their parents were there with their children, waiting for their names to be called and what they would become. A lot of the children were shocked to see me with Riella by my side. He clarified that he wasn't my father, but my teacher despite our looks. The other girls were jealous at this. Oh man, I definitely would see that. Since I had the best teacher on my side. That and Riella is Wiseman's right-hand man. That would give the big impression of being jealous. The moment I was summoned, I felt my heart skip a beat as I slowly walked into the throne room. Entering his presence made me fearful as something weird came across my mind as I stared into his many eyes. My hands see all! The sound of an infant crying. I snapped out of the moment he spoke. Child. Wait, child. Or something like that. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I did this type of voice. The Maren's blue eyes met with his as she felt his gaze stare into her soul. Sorry if I sound a bit nervous. It's just that I never expected this. Okay? But then again, I kind of did. You were the Maren who had made your presence known at the trial. Yes, master. She quietly spoke as she nodded her head. Your skills were potentially something of great worth and deserve the highest position within my ranks. But I must ask you an important question. She stood up and asked. Danny, you kind of misspelled these. What is it, master? You are correct to fear me, but why did you not fly during the final test? The Maren trembled as she tried to muster up all her courage. I have no capability of flight, master. The two of his large hands slowly came closer to examine. She shook as he looked upon her. He led her back away. This is a small formality that can be easily corrected. My new first level. The Maren looked up at him in shock as she heard those words. I am? Yes, welcome to the Nightmaren army, he said as he created a persona with his hand and gave it to her. Danny, again, it would be best if you recheck this. Also, I believe that Starlight isn't really a Mary Sue character, despite what it's actually telling. Honestly, I'm actually liking this, and again, I don't really see her as a Mary Sue. I mean, there's reasons behind this, of why she isn't. I did it. I actually did it! I was a first level Nightmaren! The moment I held my persona, I was proud of myself. The mask resembled one of my teachers. Except mine's had a large black jewel in the middle, different markings, and the long black feathers with golden trims. You know, I really would like to see that mask. I wonder what it really looks like as a picture. Danny, if you could do that, I would like to see it. I put it upon my face as Wiseman looked at me with a tint of skeptic in his eyes. I was too happy to notice as I went back to Riella. He was silent as we went back to our home. The moment he closed the door, he did something he never does. He came up to me and hugged me. He congratulated me and told me that he was so proud of me. Oh, that is sweet! That is just so sweet! So yeah, is Riel really a bad guy if he's going to do this? No. No, he wouldn't. Sure, he would lecture, but he wouldn't really do that much harm, actually. I mean, if he's just gonna threaten words, sure. Just saying. All of my hard work had paid off, and now was his equal. He would teach me the things I never knew, and we would work together in taking over Nightopia. After his little pride talk, he got me ready for the celebration of the new generation victory. All the other Marins within the race were made second levels. This was a great day for all of us, even though I was too shy to talk to them at the actual party. I mainly stayed close to Riella since I was too fearful. Can't say I blame you, I pretty much would be that too. I received much praise for my performance. Riella received some of the praise as well for teaching me. For once, I felt like I belonged. I just wish my family was here to see me. Ew, that's awkward. Yeah, because, well, if you basically know from the first episode of the video Danny made, it said that Riella killed Starlight's parents. I'm not sure when that's going to come into play, but boy am I curious to find out and to see that point. Anyways, the party was nice, but the crowds weren't my thing. I know that feeling. We returned to our room late since Riella was talking with Wiseman about something important. The king had noticed something that a few Nightmares within that test had done well and had made it close to the first level position. After a small dispute, the word was put out. There had been a special selection for a tryout with the chance of becoming a first level. 3 names were called out: Dawn, Katniss, and Spada. They were the top 3 of the list with the best possibility of passing. I was shocked more Marins my age, possibly hanging around the empty first level floor. I wasn't against it. I was excited, and I could tell the 3 were as well. Spada literally had to step out of the room because she couldn't contain her excitement. She was laughing and screaming outside with her friends following with her. I watched them dance around the garden in excitement. I could only smile as I walked back to my room. What a day it was! But it would all change in an instant. And that's the end of chapter 2. Wow, pretty much all that training really had paid off, and well, pretty much this exam, it definitely was something. We did get to see a little bit more of what Starlight had to offer, and well, not too much. I mean, Riella only had a little bit of dialogue, and so did Spada, but hey, that was actually pretty nice. And we also get to see the other cast of the new generation Nightmarens, which is actually pretty cool. And plus, the fact that Starlight actually passed as the first level definitely was a great sign of what Riella was doing. He knew what he was doing, even though clearly what he basically did. Yeah. But anyways, Danny, you did pretty good. You had a few spelling errors, but I had to admit, despite all that, despite that little minor issue, and the fact that it's kind of in a perspective thing, overall, this was actually pretty good. I hope you guys like this. I'm sorry if I stuttered quite a lot more in this, because, well, you know, some of the words were kind of hard to make out half the time, especially with those I can't really understand. But anyways, I hope you guys like this, and I'll see you all later. And see you all then.